everyone, welcome back to the Creator Shelf. And yes, I'm doing an impromptu video today. It's cold, a little bit wet, but anyway, I just want to start off the video by saying, first of all, thank you to everybody who's leaving lovely comments below, and anyone who's thinking of doing the VR to the tag that I did on a Tarot Bucket List 2022. I've had some interesting comments there. So yeah, I'm really grateful for all the kindness, and just this community is just so much fun and positive and bright, which I really need this time of year. But anyway, without further ado, the reason why I jumped on camera was because I received yesterday, the pocket version of The Wild Unknown. Now, I'm laughing because the order was placed either on the last day of October or the first day or two of November, and it arrived yesterday. So that's the fun of Brexit, right? It came over from the UK. I ordered it from Book Depository. But anyway, it came, and it came mangled, and it's a bit dented as well. And on top of that, Book Depository have been lovely. They also dispatched another one thinking this one was lost in the post. So I think I'm going to end up with a double of these. But anyway, the reason why I picked this up is because right now it's around 10 euros. And I think now it's 10 or 11 on Amazon Netherlands as well. So if anybody's interested in Europe, the pocket version is going pretty much low price basically. So I picked it up because I don't have any of the Kim Krans decks. Now, they're intriguing. I believe they came out indie in 2014, 2015. I know there's the Wild Unknown Tarot, there's an Animal Spirit one, and then there's an Archetypes one. So there's 3. And I don't have any of them, and I've seen various, like some of the larger tarot tubers, some of the tarot tubers with big audiences, so I should say, have these decks, and they talk about what they like and what they've bonded with. I know Dawn Michelle did a fantastic mod of the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. Can't speak today, but anyway, I was just intrigued, but really just being really blunt here, none of them appealed to me. I kind of like look at them and I'll be like, and I'm super picky because I will think 30 euros for a tarot deck, 25 for an animal deck, I don't know, 20 or 30 for an Archetypes deck. Well, that's what, 60, 70, 90, I can't count. And I'm really picky. I'm like, can I put that towards an indie deck basically or something else? So anyway, I wasn't picking up any of them, but because this came out in pocket, I thought this is a good taster, like a sample, and then I'll see. So yeah, this is a little tin. Look at this back of this, is gorgeous. I'm glad it's in a tin because that means it's easier to carry around. I really don't have that many, I don't have any pocket decks actually. So this was good for me just to do as a trial. Now it comes with, I can't get it open, it comes with a tiny little guidebook, and these are the cards. If I can get them out. Yep, so these are the cards. Now, I think you've all seen them already. Maybe the Wild Unknown Pocket's been out, yeah, for about 2 months now. So I think it's been really, yeah, a lot of people have posted about it actually. But anyway, these are the cards. And they are quite tiny. And the cardstock, as I understand, yeah, this is the typical Wild Unknown cardstock, which is just not great. But they're okay. Like, I know there's a whole discussion of cardstock going on right now. Like, not only the different types of cardstock, but rubber and laminated and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I'm exhausted by the whole thing. Like, I have tiny hands, and on top of that, I actually have a form of arthritis in my hands, which I don't really like saying, but that's true. So I really don't, I've got to that point where I just don't care so much anymore, because either way, as soon as the cards get too big, or if they're glossy, or even if they're that rose petal finish, they're going to be difficult for me. So the only easy cardstock for me is the standard US Games or the standard Llewellyn and the Low Scarabeo stuff. That's the only ones that actually work, because otherwise I struggle anyway with shuffling. So I'm so kind of like, I know nobody likes rose petal anymore, but I'm like, well, Tarot of the She is sticky and glossy, and I'm having trouble with that as well. So I don't know where I stand on that whole topic. I'm lost. I don't care to an extent, because most of the time after I've drawn the cards, I'm spending more of my time just looking at the image, right? That's the bit that grabs me. So anyway, like, yeah, if anybody's really interested, the cardstock is crap. but yeah. But it's fine for like this. I mean, it's 10 euros. I'm like, okay. So I bought it as like what I feel is a bit more of a sampler deck for me. And you know, I have to say, I opened it up and I looked at the images and I was just like, I'm a bit underwhelmed. That's the only way I can put it, right? And I've already heard some people saying that like, this is not a great tarot deck, but I don't want to be so dismissive because I know so many people really have welcomed this deck, especially the time it was published, because I get the feeling from what I've been listening to when people discuss, there's a whole area and an era, let's say an era of tarot, which I'm not really well versed in because living in Belgium, like we have Tarot de Marseille, we have Thoth because AGM produces Thoth, so we do have a lot, we do have Thoth definitely, and then we have the classic RWS, but the variations of RWS only really came through a few years ago. Until then, it was quite hidden for us. And I'm not talking about the UK, which is a little bit separate, but I'm talking about continental Europe, like mainland Europe. So, you know, I kind of like have been intrigued by the discussion on this because a lot of people said it helped open up tarot to a new way of seeing tarot or conceptualizing it. I think that's the best way I can put it. And I don't want to step on those toes or walk all over that sentiment because I know it's really important and true to some people's hearts. So I really, really want to respect that. I'm just giving my perspective that when I opened it and I started looking at some of the cards, I was just really like, huh? And now that I realize it, because I've had it for 24 hours, so I did do kind of like, I did a little spread. Yeah, I did a little spread. I pulled a few cards. I asked it a few things. And it is giving me some interesting readings, but this is my take on it. See, this is a really good example. This is the 10 of Wands. I was just about to say, what is it? The 10 of Wands. This is a really good example. I know what the 10 of Wands stands for from like, yeah, like what we all do now by like reading and studying and so forth. But if I was new and I was learning tarot, I would really just learn it like this. And I personally think that would make it difficult for me to work with the 10 of Wands in another deck. It's almost like the transfer would be quite difficult because this has some very rudimentary symbolism and then that's it. So I kind of like was like, huh? And then on top of that, what actually was like a bit baffling was that, and this is what happened, was a few times, just my initial look, because then I went and I shuffled the cards, and then afterwards I was a bit like regretting I shuffled them. But there was a few of the cards where I looked at them, and I have to honestly say, like this, 1, 2, 3, yeah, I was counting them. This is the 5 of Wands. I mean, and you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me a little bit of the sentiment I felt when I was looking at a review of the Spacious Tarot, and it was Tarot Oracle, that dude, I don't know his name, but he does some great reviews, I think, sometimes. Like, a lot of times, but he was doing a review, and I think it was of the Spacious Tarot, and we got to the Wands bit, because I was about to buy the Spacious Tarot, so I was kind of like going through so many of those reviews, because it's 65 euros here. What, that's $75 US dollars? Like, yes, I'm not going to go cha-ching and just swipe it out. So I was kind of like looking at reviews and whatever, and we got to the Wands, and it looked like, and I think I have to be careful about putting words in his mouth, but it felt a bit like it was a rushed job, like somebody had just done the Wands section because they were like, they'd run out of steam or run out of gas or however you want to put it. And all the other suits, like, you know, even though it's Spacious Tarot and there's not so much of the elements, or I don't know, the scenery in there and animals or people, whatever you want to say, you can conceptualize, like, I don't know, the 6 of Swords or the 8 of Cups or whatever. But the Wands did look like they'd just been flung on there, and I just looked at it and I thought, oh my God, no, like I'm not gonna, I don't have a limitless supply of money like everyone, I guess. And so I was just like, well, if I have to choose between this and something else, and I think something else now is going to win. So anyway, I'm being really, really ruthless here. But when I saw some of them, like this done so well. I mean, what, that is the 9 of Swords. That's gorgeous. And then I can't find it now because I put it down. But, you know, when I saw that, I'll find another one here, but there were some of them where I really thought, is that it? Like, this is the Nine of Cups. Is this the Nine of Cups? Yeah, it's the Nine of Cups. Sorry. I mean, it's beautiful as an image. Sorry, that could be confusing to someone. It's beautiful as an image, but, you know, when I just pulled out the Nine of Swords, I mean, the attention to detail for this card and the thought, and then this. Am I exaggerating here? So anyway, I don't want to be so mean because I know it's so helpful to so many people. So I'm going to like sit with this deck a bit more. I know there's been a couple of tarot tubers, and I know this was very, very helpful for them working through grief. And it's an issue very, very dear to my heart, especially processing childhood grief. So I want to sit with this because I'm always someone that believes there's a first impression, but give it time. I might not be in a space where I'm appreciating it right. Maybe that's what's going on here. Sorry, that's my cat there. Maybe that's what's going on here. I'm not appreciating it and I'm not in the right space. Perhaps that's going on. And so I do want to just sit with it a little bit. I know there's a lot of depth when it comes to the color, when it comes to which way the lines are flowing. I think that the major arcana in this deck is beautifully done. I do like the court cards too, but what has annoyed, like, I mean, look at that court card. This is Father of Swords, like, yeah, like the King of Swords equivalent. But what has upset me is the pips, and the pips are just, they're a really important part of a deck for me. Now this is the six, I'm just trying to think myself, what is this? This is a Six of Swords. That's beautiful. I kind of like can go with that. But when I see like 5 wands thrown onto, I don't know, let me find another one. But you know, when I see some of them where they, or like this is the 10 of Pentacles, right? I mean, I don't know what happens, but sometimes I feel as if like the person's like really bored and they're like, I'll just throw this on or something. And I'm like, dude, like, just like spend another 5 months on it. I don't know. I'm saying all of that, but I've never produced a deck. I don't know the timelines that are set. I don't know the pressure a creator is under, you know, so I'm really, really trying to be kind here because artists, like, I'm not an artist. I'm not a deck creator, and I don't know what somebody's going through when they're doing this. So I'm just really, really trying to be balanced in how I feel. Would I buy this again for 10 euros? Or maybe that's the question you might be thinking, should I spend a tenner on it? I think I'm going to say yes. And everybody's like, she's always so positive. I'm going to say yes, because I think for 10 euros, it's a really good sample. It's a bit like when you get a sample cream at a store or a sample, I don't know, like, you know, one of those sample testers that they give out, and you go home and you try it. It's a bit like that. It feels like that. And I think for that reason, I mean, look, like, this is the 7 of, this is the 7 of Swords. When I looked at that, it didn't feel like a 7 of Swords to me. I was like, really? And then I had to go back in my head and go, what's the 7 of Swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith? Not 7 of, I keep saying 7 of Swords, sorry, 7 of Wands. It's the 7 of Wands. And then in my head, I'm like, wait, in RWS, what's the 7 of Wands? And then I'm thinking, in Thoth, what's the 7 of Wands? You know, like, 5 of Swords. Yeah. And I think I've heard a few tarot tubers say it where we're recalling the RWS image and then trying to take that meaning and then shove it onto the pip, basically. And I feel I'm doing that a little bit with some of these pips, and that irks me a bit. Like, this is the 10 of Cups, so we're filling each other. It's a bit like the 9 of Cups. I mean, I don't know. So, like, this is my initial thought. Maybe I'm being too presumptuous here, but I'm just giving my initial reactions, having spent this money and waited 2 months for the deck to come through. 2 months, something like that, I don't know. And no, 6 weeks, I think. And anyway, it's I'm really grateful I've got it in the sense that it's given me an experience. I am going to go and try it out a bit more. I think I'd like to keep it in my like bag or my go-to as like an emergency deck, like if I was traveling, because right now, because of Corona, like I don't think I'm going anywhere for a long time basically. But you know, if I was traveling and there was an emergency and I had to throw a deck in my bag, you know, and get going, I mean, I would definitely try and use this. However, if it was an emergency and I had to get going, I think I'd also need a deck that I feel bonded to. So I'm not sure now. I mean, this is the Five of Cups, right? And this is about crying over spilt milk. And, well, that's how I see it roughly, yes. And, so, sorry, if you're a non-native English speaker and you're not aware of that term, or maybe you are, but crying over spilt milk is like focusing on what we've lost and not still seeing all the things that we still have, kind of thing, you know, which you know from the Five of Cups, of course. So yeah, so maybe that's what is conveyed with that horse's expression. But if I was new to tarot, I still wouldn't get the bit that the whole card is about also acknowledging that we still have stuff in life, you know, like some of the cups knocked over, and then I think there's always two remaining. It's like, you know, not everything is lost, and I don't feel that way when I see this. So it's a little bit jarring, you know. And here's the Seven of Pentacles. Maybe also because this deck came out, I think originally in indie, I have no idea. I need to do the history of it. What, 2014, 2015, or maybe earlier, mass market 2015, I don't know, something like that. Maybe since then, because so many other decks have been done now where they've gotten so abstract, this no longer is as refreshingly new, and therefore maybe I'm just not getting it because now I'm in a different era or a different period. And as they say, tarot decks these days, there's so much coming out so quickly that it just moves fast, you know, the aesthetics and what's in and what's out and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's gorgeous. And that's this, see, I've got to look like this is the Six of Pentacles. This is gorgeous. But this to me doesn't convey a Six of Pentacles feeling. Honestly speaking, it conveys more the Seven of Pentacles feeling. See, clearly either I'm getting, I don't know what to make of this. So anyway, I just thought I'd pop on camera and do a quick kind of like wild unknown first impressions, second impressions. I don't know if I only had 24 hours with it. Need to play with it a little bit more, I think. But yeah, so I don't know if anybody's interested in this, but this was my quick pop-up for today. Have a lovely evening, and I will see you all in the next few days. Take care now. Bye-bye.